Good morning, everyone. A little bit of a sad morning here and a little bit stormy. Gonna show you why that is. We've had a little bit of a tragedy here, a micro tragedy. We were gone last night, and what we have here is we lost 2 of our chickens. We came after some investigating back around the backside of the coop here, and we have a mess of feathers from one of our newer chickens, a bit of a trail of feathers that kind of lead off into this little section of woods here. I went in probably 10 feet. There's some old tractors here and some overgrowth. There's a couple of feathers scattered here and there, but then the trail kind of goes cold. And then we found another hen, was inside the coop, actually, inside where the door was actually closed, the electric door, which is part of the reason why we thought we could leave for a day and be all right. So we left kind of Friday afternoon. We're gone Friday night, most of the day Saturday. Got back here Saturday at probably 9 o'clock-ish. We did go and check on the birds just because there was a big storm. My wife opened up the door of the coop, saw that we only had 4 hens, well, 4 birds, 3 hens and a rooster. And then she saw there was one on the ground. We're not sure exactly what did it. The one bird that we did find that was inside the coop here, she had, it appeared, a neck broken, and she was missing some feathers on her back. The other hen, we just found kind of that feather trail, nothing left. So we're not really sure what could do something like that. And the odd part is we found, the one hen was right here in the morning, or at night when we found her. So we're not sure if there's a tiny bit of a gap when the door goes down, but it's not much. I wouldn't have thought something could have got through. So I don't know if maybe something attacked right around nighttime and the one girl got through without getting taken and the other one got taken, or if the gap was just big enough and the other hen was much smaller, so maybe she got pulled through versus couldn't pull the one through. We're not really sure what happened, and with that type of injury, we're also not sure exactly what it could be. We don't think a coyote, just because the gap is pretty small and it looked like it would have to be pretty agile to get there. I'm pretty sure we're either dealing with someone's cat that's out, it could be a feral cat too, or maybe some kind of weasel. There are weasels in Wisconsin that are native, and some do hang around the water, so maybe. Obviously, it's distressing for us because we thought we were doing pretty good and things seemed pretty safe here. We're not really sure what to make of this. There are some gaps in the coop here that I'll show you, but once again, it was the open section of the coop, we at least think. The main section of the coop is pretty airtight. So if we pop in here, we can see, I don't remember the roof being bulged up like that. It could have been before. I didn't really pay too much attention to it just because I thought it was a decently small gap. And once again, this is the run, like it's open for them to get out through the day. We would have, this bit of fencing is down. Once again, I don't remember if it was like that. Otherwise, everything around here seems decent, and it is hardware clothed up. There is a gap here. Once again, that's not where you can see the feather trail is just down there. So I don't know if something came up through here, got in, and then went down. If anyone has any idea about what kind of predator might have gotten in there and done that, we'd be all ears. I'm definitely going to get more hardware cloth and go ahead and patch up all the areas in this side of the run. Once again, I don't really think it does too much because there's decent sized gaps in the deer fencing, and this section of the run is open anyways. Obviously, I'm going to go through the main section of the coop too and make sure that there's not an easier way to get in there or any gaps or anything that we haven't noticed. But if anyone has any suggestions or has dealt with something like this before, we would really like to hear how you've dealt with it and any suggestions you have for obviously keeping the flock safe. So We probably won't leave overnight or at nighttime any day. The spot kind of where we traced it back to is pretty close to the house. So I don't know if maybe the dog being gone for the day made something more brazen or just lack of activity from us. So it was really only about a full day that we were gone, one night and most of a day. So we're obviously pretty sad about that. And just to give you an idea on timing, we've been here now for 2 months and haven't had any problem with any predators or any signs at all, honestly. And now we're just down 2 chickens, which is, once again, pretty sad. Also, if anyone has any recommendations for what to do with the body of the one hen that we have, I'm gonna bury it. I don't want to just leave it out because that'll probably encourage whatever killed it to come back. I don't know if just burying it or bringing it away somewhere, if anyone's dealt with that too, any recommendations that you might have. This one we're probably just going to bury down somewhere further out towards the end of the land, but not really sure if that's the best thing to do or if it should just bag it and toss it in the garbage. I'm not really sure. Obviously a little bit of a sad update here, but we figured worth sharing just because we're obviously frustrated and a little shaken up by that. These things do happen. Predators, obviously, like, we know getting into this that predators do happen and stuff like this happens, and we expected to lose a bird at some point, but we didn't really see it coming at this point just because we've been pretty lucky, I guess, then for 2 months without really doing a whole lot to discourage them, aside from having the dog just run around here freely during the day. So sad update, but that's what it is. So thank you for watching. If you made it this far, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any recommendations, we are all ears. Update for everyone. We think we know what happened. The owner, actually previous owner, who still has the deer here, came by and was just here to fill up feed and top off supplies and stuff. And we kind of asked, and he saw there were less chickens, and he was like, oh, did something get them? So it turns out they did have some hens previously that were taken. We're thinking the same thing happened. So yesterday there were some big storms that rolled through the area. We didn't think power was out here initially, just because it was on by the time we got here, though we did get here like a little bit later in the day. But then hindsight, we looked, our oven was not at the time that it was. So what we think happened, and what had happened to the owner previously, is electricity went out. So the door did not close at the time it should have. So it was probably open. I think we got home last night probably around 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, which by that time pretty dark out. And so the door must have been open, and then it closed at whatever point the electricity came on before we got home. Who knows exactly when. So we think the door was open late. Something just came in, got into what is normally be the secure part of the coop. The door closes before sundown. Obviously made off with one of our hens, killed another, and left it, or it was still here by the time that the door closed, which is why we had a dead hen inside what would be the secure part of the coop. So we think that's probably what happened, because we'll show you the timer here. Hey, ladies. Timer is just kind of set up on, there's some push buttons in here. You have set time, set open, and set close time. So if it loses power and it's out, it obviously doesn't close or open the door on time. So we think, unfortunately, that's what happened. Thankfully, we shouldn't lose power out here often. The storms that blew through last night ended up being really bad. Some straight line winds did rip through and knock down a bunch of trees and some power lines. Everything's good here. Fence lines are all good, everything like that. We already took a walk around and checked, but it just seems to be something unfortunate that happened, but something to think about and guarding against. It shouldn't happen often enough that we need to really think about getting like a backup or a solar or something like that. That's what we think is the update. If something different comes to light, obviously we'll let everyone know, but that's what we think. So thanks for watching, and thanks for sticking around at this point for the update. Like and subscribe, obviously, shameless plug. And, you know, today's also day 21, so we should hopefully see some hatching on the eggs that we're incubating. So more to come. Thanks.